Alright, so I know I said I was going to do it in the last video and start flaring the brake lines, but I'm going to do it in this one. So I have it set up on the workbench already, but some other parts I have. The master cylinder bleed kit, a couple bottles of brake fluid, and also picked up the valve cover gaskets for the Elco. I'll be throwing that back on today also. So yeah, but let's go over this setup. It's a pretty simple setup. Just a brake flaring tool. This one does single flares. He gave me the other dies to do a double flare, but everywhere I read, trying to double flare stainless, just a pain in the butt. So this is going to be a single flare on it. And right now I just have some practice pieces. So first one, I think I had it sticking out too far. When it started to bend, not sure if it's going to pick up, but it started to crack a little bit. And I backed it down slightly, got a little bit better. So that's why I want to practice a few more times. And then I didn't do anything with this one yet, so this will be the next piece. I'll try some on, but I did try it on the 3/16 also, and that one, that's how it's supposed to look. So this one I barely had sticking out of the clamps here, so probably had it sticking out probably about that much, so not much at all. So like I said, I'm gonna do a few more practice pieces, and all you need here is I have a 13mm. I was looking for my wrench, just to be able to do a little bit easier by hand, but couldn't find it, so ratchet it is. So, and then been cutting down a few of the pieces, and this one definitely works a lot better than the Harbor Freight one. It's about twice as much, and it doesn't look like that blade's getting bent up. So definitely a lot better. I think it was either this end or yeah, I think it was that end that got cut, but a lot cleaner cuts. So probably cut it off and then get some more practice tries in, make sure I know where I need to put it in the vise. And it's the first time actually getting to use the bench vise also, so that's a good little investment. But yeah, just to try to figure out where to put in the vise, how much I need to leave sticking out, and then how far I need to crank down on it. So I'm gonna do a few more practice pieces, and then I'll end up taking these lines off. I decided just to go with that one. I know it'd be better if they were probably symmetrical, but it's a little tough to bend them in the first place. So if I mess up flaring it, I'll definitely rebend this one. The 3/16 should be a lot easier to flare, so I don't think I'll mess up that one. But if I do, I have enough line left over. I need it organized too. Well, again, but yeah, I have plenty of both to a little bit less of the 1/4 inch. But if I do mess something up, I will be able to rebend it. I don't want to, but if I have to, so be it. And then when I take those off, I gotta remember to keep the fitting on there before I flare it. So yeah, let me put this down and I'll catch you guys back on here in a little bit. Alright, so did a few more practice pieces. Cut off a few more pieces with the tube cutter, or whatever you're gonna call it. And I think I have it figured out. So see that fitting's nice and tight against it, and I think we're good to go. Figured out that you pretty much want it not exactly flush, just sticking up just slightly, just a hair, and give you the best flare. I think on the 3/16, it's a lot easier. Where the 1/4 inch, it's a little tougher, but still manageable. I say just get that squared up, stick the tube through just slightly, throw that on there, crank it down. So I think I'm ready to take them off the car. I'll cut the ends off, deburr it, and then remember to keep the fittings on there, and then go ahead and flare both ends of each of the brake lines. Alright, so got them both done, no problems, everything went on smoothly. Just that adapter on there. So yeah, fitting went on smoothly. I think on the 1/4 inch, the first fitting, I thought I forgot to put it on, but I didn't. Caught myself in time, so that's on. And then I had to keep in mind, because this bottom one is a different size than this top one, so kind of had to remember which one was which. So I think we're all good. Next step is to fish them back through, install them on the car. I don't think I'm gonna do any of the bleeding today. I'll wait till I either get my neighbor is available, or see if Ravi could probably swing by one of these days and help with that. Also with the shifter cable, I need to get that installed also. So yeah, but today just really making sure that the brake lines were flared, and my buddy said I could keep that tool. He works on Volkswagen, so he can't use those sizes. He has some metric, so we're all good there. So like I said, I probably could have went out, knowing me, I'd have went out to Harbor Freight, bought a cheap one, and been complaining that the flares were all messing up. But this one, you definitely feel the difference between that and like a Harbor Freight one. I think I actually have a Harbor Freight one, but he gave me that one, so I appreciate it. But yeah, let me finish fishing these through, and it's gonna be tough to do with one hand, so I'm gonna cut the camera off, and then once everything's thrown on there, and I'll cut you guys back on and show you how everything looks, get everything tightened down, and then move on to the valve cover gaskets with the Elco. Alright, so I'll climb up under the car here in a second. Just tighten these down, and just realize they're gonna have to come back off for me to do the bench bleed. Think I could do it while it's mounted. Take these off, hook up the system, and have somebody in there moving the pedal back and forth and bench bleed the master cylinder, and then hook everything back up and bleed the whole system. So I'm still learning on this stuff, so I forgot the company I ordered it from. I think it's TMZ or something like that. I really can't recommend it or not recommend it. I don't know what I'm doing, or I can't compare it to anything. And I've been getting that a lot, like asking about certain parts and everything on the Monte and how I like them. I can't tell you how they drive or anything, but for the most part, everything I've put on the car so far, besides the turbo kit, I've liked, no problems with them. So as far as looks go, they look good, but as far as performance, or if I could feel the difference or see any difference with the suspension or anything, I don't know yet. I haven't driven the car at all. When I got it, it was trailered. There wasn't anything on there, so I really can't compare any before and after with any of the parts. But as far as looking good, I could let you know how that goes. But eventually, I will be able to compare it to the Elco a little bit. but seeing how they're both modified, I can't compare it to a stock car. So unless somebody wants to let me borrow a stock car, I won't break it, or I won't try to break it. But yeah, I'll give you guys a look up underneath here in a second. And ooh, look at that exhaust. But yeah, I am using a, what was it? It was a disc-to-disc proportioning valve. So I know a lot of people use adjustable ones. I'll see how this one does at first, and then if I need to swap it out or do something, I can. But everything gets tightened down. I kind of like these a little bit more. They stick out versus the stainless steel ones. They pretty much go flush with it. So that's that adapter and everything. So yeah, all the brake lines are officially ran. And while these were off and everything, I made sure to cover up the holes so no dirt or anything would blow in there. So yeah, and the nice thing about everything running the same motor, I just buy a whole bunch of extra oil filters. Everything uses the same thing. I think there's a slight oil leak. I gotta double check, see where it's coming from. I don't think it's a pan or anything. It might be this fitting here. So yeah, I think it's that fitting. Yeah, tighten that up a little bit. I know it's pretty close to the starter, but there's clearance. There's room in between there. Give you guys a look up underneath. All that UMI suspension. Those Corvette brakes, rotors, Blazer spindles. 480E. Transmission cooler. Those PTFE lines for fuel and transcooler. Custom drive shaft. Yeah, so it's getting there. Grand National rear end. That custom 3-inch exhaust. Still need to throw the rear sway bar back on. Then G-Force cross member for the 480E. What else am I missing up under here? Fuel filter. Yeah, that's about it underneath. But yeah, I might call it a day on this video, and then I'll still mess around with the Elko, but make that its own little short video. Button up some stuff there. Like I said, I got the master cylinder bleeder kit, so eventually I'll do that with this one. I might even want to redo the Elkos, because I have the one, I have that other brake booster and everything, but you see this one was leaking at one point, so it's a little rusty on there. So that might be farther down the line once I redo the Elko, just freshen up a little bit. But that's it for the Monte. I got the brake lines flared, so all the brake lines are on, just one step closer. Like I said, this is just a little tool I use for it. I picked it up from a buddy, so yeah, I'm good there. This worked great. I think I got these from Advance. I got these from Advance. A lot better than the Harbor Freight ones. I'm not knocking Harbor Freight. You know, I got a lot of their tools, but just some of them you got to spend a little bit extra money for. But other than that, like I said, I had the gaskets for the header gaskets, but I think I'm gonna try to tighten these ones up a little bit more. Also, modify this crossover pipe, because right now I think it's putting a lot of tension on this header. So I think if I extend it just a little bit, it's going to release some of that tension and allow everything to sit flush. But that'll be at a later date. For now, that's it with the Monte. I'm going to cut this off and start another one on the Elko.